says 1 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 27. But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. I give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. Salutations to the men of the hopeful and sincere elect. This is Makazar from Trinidad Camp. I want to do a little edification for the elect's sake. Alright, so now, as you can see in the picture here, it shows you that a group of white sheep, and they keep it separate from a black sheep. Alright, and we all know the concept of the black sheep. The black sheep is always the one that, that is the oddball. Now, coming up in the world, majority of us, we realize that we were different in the world. Probably things that, the people around us like to do, we didn't like to do, or basically, it always had a circle that you just couldn't be a part of. All right? As we see in the world with Jake, you say, the last hired and first fired. You always pushed aside. You always shun. All right? If your friends going out to hang out, you might be the last person they call if they call you at all. All right? You mightn't be your mother's favorite son. Your siblings might have a problem with you. And that is how we were in the world. We were castaways in the world. We were outcasts in the world. But guess what? It's a hell of a thing to come into this truth, to be a castaway in the truth, to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. This is the only place you don't want to be a castaway. All right? And they have men that actually not taking this truth seriously. All right? They're not taking being a Hebrew Israelite or being in the truth seriously. Guess what? This is not just religion. This is life and death. All right? That is why Paul said he keep his body under subjection. All right? When you look to keep under subjection, it means to beat black and blue. You make sure you keep yourself straight. You keep yourself on that straight path. That when, as the scripture said in 1 Corinthians, it says that we labor that we may be accepted of him. You don't want to be a castaway. You don't want to be a castaway. Being a castaway in this truth means you're going to be destroyed. Now guess what? There's a hell of a thing coming into this truth than to be destroyed. There's a hell of a thing. The Lord giving us the chance of the hope of salvation. So use it. Use it wisely. Use it to the best of your abilities. Alright? Because as I said, you don't want to come into this truth and then be a castaway. You don't. Alright? This is Jude chapter 1 verse 12. It says, these are spots in your feast of charity when they feast with you, feeding themselves without fear. And that is how some men are, they feeding themselves without fear. Because really and truly, they in the truth, but it not mixed with faith. They lack the faith. Alright? Clouds they are without water, carried about of winds. Trees whose fruits wither. Like these two guys from Yashal and Milwaukee, they're always talking about GMX. Guess what? It's like the truth is talking about GMS. The doctrine is talking about GMS. Guess what? You clouds without rain. Alright? Guess what? Who you learn the truth from? The apostles of Great Millstone. All of a sudden, you on some level that you could talk shit about the apostles. Guess what? The Most High gonna destroy you. Alright? The Most High gonna destroy you. Or the reason you talk about Great Millstone is because they say they have 100% truth. Guess what? Didn't the scripture said there is no lie of the truth? Didn't the scripture said they had no guile in their mouth? So if you don't have 100% truth, then guess what? You preaching a lie. From the time you don't have 100% truth, you are preaching a lie. So yes, the men of Great Millstone do have 100% truth. Because guess what? Our doctrine have never been checked. Our doctrine have never been checked through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Alright? Going on. It says, trees whose fruit withered, without fruit, twice dead, plucked up from the roots. Alright? So you don't want to be twice dead. Dead in the world, then come in the truth to be dead again. Nah, you don't want to be that way. You want to be accepted of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Alright? You want to be accepted of the Lord. You don't want to be a castaway. So you have to labor to enter into the straight gate. Do the things that are right so that the Lord will be pleased. All right? Will be pleased to call you his son. All right? That is what the scripture said, that we may please him that called us out of darkness into this marvelous light. We have to know to please the Lord that we may be accepted of him. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 1. We then, as workers together with him, beseech you also that you receive not the grace of Yahweh in vain. So don't receive this word in vain. All right? Don't receive this word in vain, because if you receive it in vain, you're going to be destroyed. You don't want to be twice dead. You don't want to be the black sheep in the truth. All right? Guess what? Being in the truth, you considered a black sheep to the world. All right? But let's say these white sheep, because the elect can be clothed in white. And the Lord did call us lambs. So let's say these white sheep are the elect. You don't want to be the ones set aside to be destroyed. All right? When 144,000 going up in the chariots, guess what? You who have been, the scripture said they came out of us, but they were not of us. You were there preaching alongside them, and you have to look at the elect going up. But guess what? You are staying down because you didn't do the things that was required of you. You are being wicked. You don't want to be twice dead. This is Psalms chapter 69 verse 7. It says, because for thy sake I have borne reproach. Shame had covered my face. Guess what? The Lord said, while you were in the belly, I knew you and ordained you to be a prophet. So them spirits, they knew that you were a servant of the Lord. So that is why you were outcast in the world. That's why you always felt different in the world, unwanted, irrelevant in the world. But when you come into the truth, then you find your place, you find your purpose, then you understand the reason you were shunned in the world. But to be shunned in the truth, guess what? That is not what you want. It says, I have become a stranger unto my brethren, and an alien to my mother's children. For the zeal of thine house hath eaten me up, and the reproaches of them that reproach thee are fallen upon me. All right? And the 2/3, they're going to talk evil about us. They're going to talk bad about us. All right? But guess what? Let not the day come when Yahweh shall come to deliver the elect, and you be left back. You don't want to be left behind. That's why Paul said, lest I be a castaway. You don't want to be a castaway. All right? The final precept here says, Luke chapter 13, verse 24. It says, strive to enter into the straight gate. All right? The word strive goes back to fight or struggle with difficulties. So you're going to go through difficulties. So don't let them difficulties hinder you from entering into the gates. You're going to suffer, so learn to suffer. All right? This is the least we could do for committing adultery against our husband, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. We're not going to have it easy. The scripture says such is Israel's portion. All right? I say unto you, will seek it says, for many I say unto you will seek to enter in, but shall not be able. So you don't want to be one of those many that will seek to enter in and not be able to. You don't want to be one of those castaways. I don't want to be one of those castaways. So we all have to perfect holiness, to the best of our abilities. Don't just be holy. Don't just be a man of the Lord when you're around the apostles, around the elders, around your camp leaders or other brothers. Don't be a man of the Lord only then. Be a man of the Lord 24/7, 365 days of the year. Be a man of the Lord even when eyes not looking, because guess what? The eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. That is when you have to be a man of the Lord. When physical eyes not around, that is when you're doing this thing to please the Most High. When you're doing it when nobody not around. All right? When it's not a game, when it's not an act, that is when you're doing this thing perfectly. All right? It says, when once the master of the house is risen up and had shut to the door, and ye begin to stand without and to knock at the door, saying, Lord, Lord, open unto us. And he shall answer and say unto you, I know you not. Whence are ye? Whence ye are? All right? And that is what Yahweh Shai said to 2/3 of Israel. You don't want to be a part of that. Yahweh Shai said, who is you? An outcast. That is what you're going to be, an outcast. And we don't want to be outcasts. All right? It says, then shall ye begin to say, we have eaten and drunk in thy presence, and thou hast taught in our streets. But he shall say, I tell you, I know ye not whence ye are. Depart from me, all you workers of iniquity. So the reason you enter in, because you committed iniquity, because you are scoffing, because you are talking shit about the apostles behind their backs and smiling in their face, talking shit against the elders, talking shit against your camp leaders, or even a brother in the camp lower than you. All right? The scripture said, beware lest you offend one of these little ones. All right? So you might look good before brothers, but guess what? The Most High know your heart wicked, right? Because you be wicked inwardly. All right? You be wicked inwardly. All right? Verse 28. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth when ye shall see Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and all the prophets in the kingdom of Yahweh, and you yourself thrust out. You yourself thrust out. Thrust means cast out. A castaway. You don't want to be a castaway in this truth. You want to be accepted. All right? So there's the goal. The goal is not to come into this truth just for coming into its sake, but to finish the race and to be accepted, to be delivered, to be part of the first resurrection. All right? That is the aim. That is what this truth is about, salvation. This truth is not, all right, we come out Saturdays, we preach, and then 6 days out of the week, we could do whatever the fuck we want. Nah, 7 days out of the week, we are Hebrew Israelites because it's our nationality. And guess what? This word is our stock and trade. So we have to live according to it. The scripture said we are made spectacles to the angels and to men. You know what I mean? That means our body is not our own. That means we have to be right all the times when we in front men and when we in front the angels, because men looking at us and the angels looking at us. So we have to be right all the time because we made a spectacle to both. The angels came back the message and the brothers came back the message to the apostles. The angels came back the message to the Most High. The brothers came back the message to the apostles. Whatever behavior you have, whatever report, whether be good or bad. The scripture said we stand before the judgment seat of Yahweh for things we done, whether be good or bad. All right? So let your judgment be a good judgment. When you stand before Yahweh, let it be that you come into this truth to enter into that rest. All right? So with that, I want to give our praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Rakakodash. I want to give double honor to the apostles of great mercy who not rule well. Salutations to the men of the hope and saints elect. This is Makazar saying Shalom.